Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
Welcome to Claude and Justin talking about Battlestar Galactica.
Hello, people.
If that is your real name. So what are we're talking about episode 15?
Yeah, 15 or 17.
Depending on your ordering
Right.
system.
Yeah. No exit?
No, was that the title?
Think so.
Alright, good job.
I might be wrong, but that's what I think the title is, so let's just go with that.
Alright, I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, first, did we did a BSG podcast before. Was that the one where we talked about the stuff that's relative to this episode? With the whole origin of the Cylons and all that?
No, I mean, all we've done, I think, is the last one, last week's.
So it was just that last one? Okay.
Yeah, about the mutiny and stuff. We didn't talk about that at all because it wasn't really that relevant.
Okay. Well, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, so last week, they had a mutiny, and then they kind of put that down and killed off the leaders, and that was the end of that. And so now in this episode, they're kind of back to the big story, I guess, the overall story of the series, and they give us quite a bit of information specifically about the Cylons, the Final Five, what their plan was about, how that connects to Earth, and even farther back than that, the Cobalt Day. I mean, there's a lot there.
Oh wow!
It's there's sort of two strands to it. One of them with the Cylons, and one of them on Galactica with Anders getting shot in the head in the last episode, and this somehow releasing his memories and causing him to remember things, and so he's telling the other Cylons what he remembers, and
other Cylons and Kara.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Who knows what she is? Yeah.
Who knows? Indeed. Yeah, I have no idea. God, I guess they still have to deal with that. But
maybe she's a Cobaltian.
Yeah.
Maybe she transcends the Final Five.
Okay. All right.
I don't even know the whole Cobalt thing. They mentioned that, and I'm so confused. There's like 4 different races and eras and groups of people to sort of.
It's pretty confusing. Now, so the final Cylon, brace yourselves. If you haven't watched the series, please don't listen anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super spoiler alert. This is groundbreaking, episode-shattering material here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really do this except that it's such a big deal for the series. So, yeah.
This is like saying Rosebud is a sled. 5 minutes into Citizen Kane.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
No. So, go watch Citizen Kane before you hear this.
Norman Bates is dressing up as his dead mother and killing people. That's what I'm about to say.
Yes, Jimmy Stewart, it is Raymond Burr. He is the killer.
So the final Cylon is Ellen Tigh. Ty's wife, who I don't know why I feel the need to recap. I guess it doesn't make sense to me to start talking about without setting the stage just a little bit.
You're always on, aren't you?
She just suddenly shows up on one of the ships in the first season, and she's around for a while. Eventually she during the new Caprica subplot, she ends up giving information to the Cylons, and Ty finds out about this, and he poisons her and kills her. And so that was the end of her, or so we thought, until
Who knew that was a mystery?
Yeah, no kidding.
No one's been asking. I wonder if Ellen's really dead.
I was really not asking that. So
the mystery you didn't know to ask.
Yeah. The mystery everyone ignored. It really didn't seem like a mystery. It shouldn't have been a mystery, but it was. So, in a few episodes ago, we found out she was the final Cylon, and then in this episode, we get a kind of they fill in the story of what happened to her after she died. I guess she resurrected, and then we find out, what her deal is. That she's sort of not just, one of the Cylons, but she's got a big, role in the whole story. I mean, really crazy stuff for me.
She's basically Eve.
Yeah.
She's basically Eve. She basically created the other Cylon models we've seen.
Yeah.
Those are basically sort of her children, her progeny.
Right. Yes.
Insane.
If you're into that whole biblical metaphor thing.
Yeah, like the when they did the this episode started with sort of a recap, and
right.
And, they brought back basically started sitting around Ellen. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's right, Ellen was the final one. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. I never really liked Ellen that much, but I guess it was like, yeah, she had to die, and I'm just watching that scene, and I'm like, yeah, you have to kill her, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, I wonder if they're ever gonna do anything with her, right? and then the episode starts, and she wakes up screaming out of the thing, and I'm like, wow, Ellen's back. This is somehow really great.
Yeah.
I proceeded to really really enjoy this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I was never a big fan of her character either. I really actually liked the subplot with Ty on New Caprica, where he kills her and loses his eye and sort of comes back, and I liked his character after that. I really actually didn't like him that much before that either. I thought that was where he really sort of started working as a character for me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good, but I didn't think it was any more than that. I mean, I thought it was just a good subplot.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed. It would have. Yeah. It would be so pivotal. So yeah, she is back, and she's much better than I thought she was.
So I mean, so in this whole mess, I mean, one of the big things you realize with this episode is how the single actions of a handful of people has decimated an entire race of people.
Yeah.
How little things like jealousy and greed and all these other things or whatever manifest themselves as it manifested themselves into this elaborate plot and scheme and that just sort of unfolded in the midst of all these unknowing people throughout these colonies, and to their own demise. And it's just like, and everything that's happened since,
yeah,
is basically rests on John's shoulders, right? That's sort of what we learn, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Also, he could like torture them and get whatever neater. It's weird. To see to see how few links are in the chain, of events.
Yeah. Yeah, I always had a hard time understanding how the Cylons had, like, seemingly they had mysteries encoded in their brains, and it always bugged me that someone had to put that there. Like, it does, mysteries don't just sort of arise in programming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I thought there was something behind that, but no one seemed to know. So yeah, in this episode we find out what that's about, and it does make sense.
Yeah.
That part of it does, at least.
Yeah, there's so many different parts to it. I mean, some of the scene, like the thing I probably liked most was the stuff with Ellen and John. What's his name? What's his other name? I forget.
Cavill,
that's right. I mean, some of that stuff, I mean, you read my script, Lemon, like, some of that stuff is, like, exactly the kind of stuff I want to try to get at. And I'm, like, watching them do this thing to, like, perfection, like just insane, pure, futurist sci-fi,
Right.
And yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I agree.
Such a great situation just to watch play out, It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good scenes. I really enjoyed the Cavill character before this.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was good. I really liked his stuff earlier in the season. I mean, the silent ships have always been, like, crazy places to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, these scenes were really good. I mean, they were kind of probably better than average.
Oh yeah.
For Cylon scenes. I mean, he really sort of, he really explains where he's coming from in detail, and so you really get to kind of understand what he's all about.
Well, and you get to you get to understand what they're sort of all about, and it's this, and that was the thing that I never knew was how much was it going to be the case that I guess to say that the leap of disconnect for me was how do the Centurions connect with the human models?
Yeah.
The skin jobs or whatever, and now we know that they're kind of the same. Like from what I gather, like a Centurion could get in one of the model bodies, and then therefore their job would be to, sort of work on themselves and become the best machine they kind of could be, or figure out this, deal with their emotions and all this. Is that what how you saw it too?
I didn't get that. I did not get that, but I didn't get that.
I got that from when they were talking about how the Centurions on Earth, and the colonies couldn't figure out how to make human models. Like, see, part of the what's confusing is there's these parallel events going on in different time periods, because both groups of people create their own Centurions.
Yes.
Which we talked about as a possibility, and like I said, then it's confusing, but that's what it seems like it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm still a little bit confused. I remember when we first started to find out about this story when they were on Earth, I remember you had a theory about it, and it was pretty close to what they actually did. The only one difference I can think of is you thought that maybe they came back and sort of ended up destroying the humans for some reason, some kind of weird poetic justice kind of thing or something where they got destroyed and now they're going to destroy or something like that. But according to this, it's really they come back and one of the Cylons that they create sort of takes over and does this.
But he kind of does it for the same reason. He, like he says, he wanted to make them pay. Make the humans pay for enslaving his ancestors, basically.
Right.
So there is that part of it, and that was what's weird, because it's that's what I love about AI, artificial reality. Artificial intelligent characters are in these machines stuck in human bodies. Some of this was reminiscent of Agent Smith in The Matrix. When he's talking to Morpheus in the first one about he's talking about wanting to be more, and there's other things he can be than being in a human body in this Matrix thing, and that whole thing. It was sort of similar to the way Cavill was talking. But it's but the inherent sort of dichotomies that are there is so interesting, because on the one hand he's trying to be logical and be this perfect machine, but he's like she said, still driven by these sort of petty emotions, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I'd like to spend a little time trying to sort of weave together the complete story, because I still haven't quite figured it out yet.
There's a couple holes in there for me too. There's a couple blurry areas.
Yeah. So at some point the Final Five meet up with the Centurions on the colonies after the first war, and the Centurions.
Well, can we go further back than that?
Yes, I was just gonna say, from that point on, I think I get it. It's the stuff before that where I'm kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. The other thing I didn't have in my theory about where they were gonna go with it was the element of, the sort of personal element of, like you said, Cavill being the one instigating all of this. We're really starting with the Final Five. Starting with Ellen's sort of personal will and them building the resurrection technology, and that leading to where why I didn't get that element of it, of how it was really going to be these people doing these really specific things that led to this huge chain of events.
Right. And also, Cavill's the one responsible for planting the Final Five, where they were without knowing who they were and so on.
And they all survived. How lucky is that?
Yeah. It is lucky. Well, one of them didn't survive, but belatedly.
Who didn't survive?
Ellen.
Oh,
she survived the initial attack.
Yeah,
if that's what you mean.
I meant first the initial attack. That was huge. The fact that they all survived was insane.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to somehow teach them a lesson about how bad humans were, and so he sends them down there, thinking they're humans. And
it's so insane.
Yeah. So, but
he's basically God. He's basically he has this amount of power and control to where he affects that amount of influence on their lives is insane. To just be able to do that. Yes,
it is. It is. And that's something I definitely wouldn't have foreseen. I guess I thought of the Cylons more collectively. I really didn't think
exactly.
that it was so individualistic.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too is I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say.
So it all started not even 2,000 years ago on Earth, but even longer before that on Kobol.
Yeah, so let me because I'm confused about that because now is Kobol the 13th colony?
No.
Okay.
No.
What is Kobol?
I think
that's
if
where
anything,
the 12 colonies. That's where the 13 colonies were from.
If anything's the 13th colony, it's Earth.
That's right. The 13th tribes are from Kobol, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So there's okay.
So, So the 12.
So that means at the end of the show they're going to find Kobol.
They've already found Kobol. That was a plot way back. They went down there. Kobol's last gleaming. They were like part 1 and part 2. They've been there. You know, who can say they could just go to a place like that and just forget about it? It's pretty crazy. But yeah, they've been there. It's old hat now.
That's the one where they found the thing they were talking about in this episode, right? The little temple thing or whatever.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could remember everything that happened. It was crazy. Those were good episodes, but I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, those were good episodes. That was when a lot was going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
That whole opera house stuff was really.
Oh yeah. That I believe that dates to that. Yeah, that's right.
I think the opera house was Galactica.
The Cylons basically had taken over Kobol. There were Centaurians everywhere, and they had to go down there for some reason that I don't even remember. Someone died every time they went down there. It was a whole thing. There was some weird like curse on the planet or something like that, from what I remember. But before all that, several thousand years ago, I guess the original humans were created by the gods or something like that. So there were 12 tribes, and these 12 turned into the 12 colonies that are destroyed at the beginning of the series.
So they left. Why did they leave Kobol?
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe it's explained. Something happened, and then they had to leave. But what was it? Oh God, I feel like such a bad fan.
They don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember. They did have to leave, but I don't remember why. So there's a part of the story to fill in. But there's yet another part of the story to fill in, which is the reason I brought it up. At some point, I guess, on Kobol, the humans actually created the Cylons, sort of the original Cylons.
The OG Cylons?
Yeah. I guess so. And these Cylons were pretty much the best Cylons, I guess, the highest tech Cylons.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said we're on Earth?
No, on Kobol.
Oh, okay, on Kobol.
Yeah, this is what I think. I might be wrong.
So you're saying before? Okay, so this is your interpretation of what they laid out.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying on Kobol before the 13 tribes leave. Yeah. They are Cylons, or they create Cylons?
No. So here's my claim. There's 12 tribes of humans. The humans create the Cylons. The Cylons essentially become the 13th tribe. Okay.
And they leave the humans on the planet?
So, well, I don't think so. So I think maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so they create the Cylons on the on Cobalt, and they are the fancy Cylons. I don't know how they did this so long ago and then sort of forgot. I'm really not sure how that works, but I guess it's supposed to be like, the things people say about, various ancient cultures, and they had more advanced stuff than we do now for some weird reason.
Like Atlantis.
What? Yeah, Atlantis. That's it. Yeah, that kind of thing. Except, the descendants of the Atlanteans are still around. That's the weird part.
You mean the Australians? Zing.
So they create the Cylons, and they have resurrection technology. They look like humans, but they're technically artificial. And then whatever it is happens. I don't even know, and they all have to leave. And and for whatever reason, yeah, okay. So my story.
Didn't you watch this one twice?
Yeah, I did. But I don't think they explained this part. I think this part should come from something else where they were talking about the Cobalt story. Because I think that goes back, and I just don't remember what it was. So the thing happens, and they all have to leave, and basically the Cylons are sort of they sort of become their own. Or maybe they have to leave because they created the Cylons or something like that. I don't know. But they all leave, and the humans go off and form the 12 colonies, and the Cylons go to Earth, and they form Earth. And so there's that. And then separately, although the Cylons do it first, they both create Cylons. And which really just means Centurions, these metal things. And separately, although the Cylons do it first, the Cylons attack the creators because they're mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Centurions, basically.
The Centurions, yeah, exactly. That's the strange thing. Yeah. So the Centurions attack.
Centurions are basically the low level, and then I kind of say Cylon when I mean the humanoid model, because that's basically the two. There's,
Okay, good. Yeah. So they both create Centurions. They both are attacked by the Centurions, and in the case of Earth, the Centurions actually destroy the planet, but a few of them, in particular, the final 5, are able to get away before they're killed, and so they get away, and they're able to travel to the 12 colonies because they think the same thing is going to happen there, and they want to tell them not to let it happen. But unfortunately, they don't have whatever it's called. They don't have the speed. They can't go that fast, and so it takes them 2,000 years to get to where the 12 colonies are. And by the time they get there, the war's already started, and the Centurions have already rebelled, and so they meet up with the Centurions, and the Centurions have already created a hybrid. I think they did that themselves, but they were not able to create a sort of real humanoid Cylon themselves. They tried, but weren't able to do it. These final 5 from Earth come and show them how to do it, and give them the resurrection technology and all that, and sort of really just take over.
So basically,
and so they create, the Final Five create the other models who are what we know as the Cylons through most of the series.
yeah, those are the models that they allowed the 12 colony Centurions to use as their upgrades.
Right.
That's basically the impression I got, because they were trying to evolve, I guess, and they couldn't figure out how to do it, and so they gave them the technology.
Yeah. Exactly. And okay, and so then so at this point there's a lot of like personal intrigue that happens, I guess, drama, and it gets a little more fine tuned, but the Cavil, I guess the first created one, ends up sort of taking over, I guess, and banishing the Final Five, and then ordering or causing the 12 colonies to be completely destroyed, which is the beginning of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so that's there's definitely more to it than that, but that's the outline as I understand it. As you can see, the first part was a lot sketchier. It gets better as time goes on.
Yeah.
But the Cobalt period, I don't understand the Cobalt period.
I think you got it pretty much the way I got it, which is basically that the 13th colony, the 13th tribe, which is the one that's still on Earth, were basically they were Cylons, right?
Yeah.
So they were basically Ellen and the Final Five.
Right.
Types.
And others. See,
and
one of the things we find out is that Cavil was based on Ellen's father.
Yeah.
And so that tells us that, it wasn't just like a bunch of copies of the Final Five living on Earth. It was others.
No, it was a whole regular civilization.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were reproducing. They had sort of a normal. They weren't like the Cylons that we know, where it's just 12 models or 7 models even. So
that's what's weird so the Cylons, when they get to Earth, were basically human.
Right.
Like, and then they created this. They were like, hey, we need Centurions.
Yeah.
And so they created those. And so what's weird is the only difference between the history of what happened on Earth and the history of what happened on the 12 colonies is, one is supposed to be a human lineage and one is a Cylon lineage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But yet to be determined.
Right.
But it's really weird. It's really complicated, and
I
didn't think it would be complicated. I just figured the final when they revealed everything, it'd be a lot broader and simpler.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Not so much. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of did too. I was surprised.
I didn't expect this much like detail and things, and I mean, the fact that Cavil decided to plant them in that. Yeah, the big weirdness is too the fact that they both made Centurions and they had this. I feel like are they saying they both created this because they all had the same base technology? Or was it just somehow Centurions and Cylons they just get created during the right conditions?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea, because the events on Earth were way before the events on the 12 colonies. So,
Well, yeah, but if they're all from Cobalt, they could have all sort of had similar technology, and if they all, one built off of it quicker than the other or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Are we supposed to think there's a stronger link just because they're all from the same place, or is it more intrinsic to artificial intelligence?
I guess I thought it was more the second thing.
Okay.
Because I guess I thought when they left Cobalt, it didn't. Yeah, I don't know though. It might not. It might be. It might be
because
the thing.
The reason that they're different. I mean, we don't know how long it took the 12 colonies to settle, the 12 tribes to settle on the colonies, right? Like if they all came from the same place, like I don't know the relationship from the colonies to Earth to Cobalt, but
yeah. Well, based on the fact that they got to Cobalt pretty fast, really early in the series, and Earth much later, it certainly seems as though Cobalt's closer to the colonies than it is to Earth.
They are jumping through space.
They are jumping through space.
Which I don't know if that's what they did thousands of years ago when they were leaving Cobalt.
Perhaps not.
So, yeah, I don't think they had the FTL.
But it still seems like, with the jumping, it still seems like Cobalt's closer to the colonies than it is to Earth. So if they both left at the same speed, it wouldn't matter, even if they're both not going fast.
It's hard to say because when they were trying to get to Earth, they weren't coming from the 12 colonies. They were coming from wherever else they were.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to get a sense of how far the colonies is from.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just basing it on the fact that the time between leaving the colonies and getting to Cobalt was much less than the time from going from Cobalt to Earth. Cobalt to Earth is like 3 seasons, and colonies to Cobalt is like 1 season. And that's not exactly a precise measurement of distance, but that gives me the impression that that the distances are related like that.
Yeah, that could be the case.
But the thing I don't quite get is, the Cylons were pretty advanced. Like I don't understand why. I don't understand why they created Centurions, why they weren't able to deal with them. I don't quite understand why that was such a problem.
The Cylons on Earth?
What?
The Cylons on Earth?
Yeah.
I think it's, to me, I just get a sense it's the classic sci-fi thing where, they use the Centurions for labor, and then they depend on them so much that they're everywhere, and then there's just an uprising, and the Cylons attack.
Right.
And the Centurions attack, I should say.
Yeah.
But what's weird, I mean, obviously the extra weirdness on that Earth side is, the Centurions are attacking against other artificial life forms.
Right.
But I don't know if they know that. I mean, it seems like they shouldn't know that.
I agree. Yeah.
Because it's weird to be like.
And if they did know that, would it matter to them?
Well, it does matter, apparently. Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. I don't know.
But I agree that they wouldn't necessarily know that.
That's the second time already.
I mean, the thing is, the Cylons are reproducing the classic way, and they're essentially living lives that to a human would look like it was human. So, to a Centurion's point of view, I mean, I don't think they could really tell the difference.
Well, that's the whole point is, that's your question is, would it matter? Because they could be like, well, there's no
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess I feel like to the Centurions, the point is the way they're being treated, and it doesn't matter who's doing it.
Totally, but there's that extra level of saying, our creators live through this too. I mean, because that's the thing, the Cylons, isn't that why they left Cobalt?
Is that? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what happened.
Or maybe they left before that happened, or something. I mean, they obviously didn't go with the 12 colonies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they split off, and so, yeah, there's probably something there.
The whole thing is so weird because the Cylons on Earth aren't humans. They're Cylons. And I just and that's the thing, like you sort of want to expect Ellen to be human, but she's not.
Yeah.
But she's not. Somehow she's more than the other Cylons, though.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Like, why?
Yeah. Well, she had a hand in designing them. They weren't sort of created in the classic way.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, then that means that however she was created.
That's the thing. I don't think she was sort of designed like that. I think she was just born to parents in the classic way.
Well, but at some point, her line of Cylon was built.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you go back far enough, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I think that's the other thing I didn't expect on this show is the level of technology and sophistication that exists on the show. When Tyrell was like, Admiral, the ship is falling apart, the skull is corroding, but we have this organic adhesive that will grow into it and fix the hole and repair as it grows. And it's like, it's a biological, compound, and I'm like, that's pretty advanced. That's a pretty advanced creation, my friend.
You're right.
You're not messing around.
Mm-hmm.
That and this like resurrection technology and the ability to create other, life forms with free will with such, great depth and ease, and
right.
like, I mean, Cavill is nothing to scoff at.
Not at all. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So the other thing that I haven't mentioned that seems to be playing some part in the story that I still don't understand is what?
Don't mention it.
Is
okay, man.
Is the religious stuff?
Yeah.
However, this, they don't talk about it much, but it somewhat comes back up, although it was very murky. I didn't understand what they were saying. Like, literally, I didn't understand what they were saying. The humans believe in a kind of pantheon of gods, and the Cylons believe in one god, but there's something else to that that's revealed in this episode, but I don't know what it is because I just did not understand what he was saying. They talk about it.
Talking about when he was talking to Ellen.
No. Maybe I was actually thinking of the Anders scene, but did they talk about it too?
Well, he basically insinuated, I think, that Ellen did what she did because she thought God wanted her to. She made them the way she did because she thought God wanted her to, or something like that.
Yeah,
or God,
you're right.
Not that. God wanted it that way.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I
forgot about that, yeah.
So that was a big little thing that they tucked in there because it's totally opposite of how she presents herself up until that point in the episode.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem she seems very logical and very sort of, above it all because she's created all of this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and so the religious aspect of the Cylons is a strange one, and I feel like that's supposed to matter. And yeah, and Anders has some dialogue about it. But yeah, I just really did not. I had no idea what he was talking about.
Which scene are you talking about? He's a lot. That was the other big surprise of this episode, was how he just laid it all out on the table.
He did, yeah.
Like, gather round while I tell you exactly what you want to know from the beginning. When he got shot in the head, I thought he was done for.
So did I. So did I. Who would guess? I would never have guessed that a shot in the head would lead to him just throwing revelations out.
Man.
In a torrent.
People get injured on this show, and they just start being all kinds of interesting.
Apparently so. Yeah.
I mean, because it totally works. It works with Ty.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt, injured, lost an eye. He got interesting.
You're right.
Gator lost his leg. He got all interesting.
You're right. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's
bodily
the thing.
harm and
I guess that's the thing. You just need to take a serious injury and.
Remember when the first time I started liking Tyrell a lot was when he was having the beginning of the Cylon dreams and stuff, and he attacked his wife.
Oh yeah. Mhm. I like that stuff too. That was great.
Yeah.
That was the first time we saw Cavill. He talks to Cavill about the dreams, and you don't know Cavill's a Cylon at the time. It's
that's right.
It's just yeah.
Oh, but see, and that's the other weird. Okay, that's right. Okay, no, that makes sense to me now. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Oh man, we definitely have to go do a retrospective.
Yeah, I agree. So I looked up Cobalt on Wikipedia, and it looks like they're unclear about what happened as well.
Mm.
They say an unspecified conflict spurred the humans to leave. So that fits right in with what I said. It doesn't seem that it's been made clear what exactly happened there. And so something that's floating in the background is the Opera House thing, and maybe that ties in somehow.
I think the Opera House thing. I think the Opera House is Galactica.
Oh, that's right. You said that. So what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that the events that we saw are going to take place on Galactica. So, like...
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Well, the thing that made me think that last episode was when the Sixth, was taking care of the little baby.
Mm-hmm.
That was, that's in the prophecy.
Ah, right.
They're all on the base ship though now, right?
Who?
Didn't they all escape, the Cylon prisoners?
Oh,
Did they escape?
No. I mean, the Sixth was with Ty. That was on Galactica.
Oh, that was her. Yeah, that was the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
I get confused. There's so many.
There are so many. It's so true. Yeah. And the rest of them were all on the ship. Although I think Tori in general stays over there, but the chief's the chief again, so he's hanging out, and Anders
is
laid up.
It's like, man, if you didn't like Ty being the XO, you don't want to hear about the new promotion on Galactica.
And you really don't want to hear about what he's going to put in the walls.
Oh man.
He did insist on only humans on the crew, which I thought was interesting.
Nice. That was a definitely nice touch to say that he was sort of, that he had his limits, whatever.
Yeah.
weird, man. It's weird. I feel, it seems like Adama really wants this to just all be over. It's unfair that he can't just quit.
Yeah.
Because it's just like all of this crap, and he just had a mutiny, and now his ship is falling apart.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he he doesn't need this.
There's a lot of great stuff. Okay, so the Opera House thing, I think, wasn't there something about the Opera House of it, was it falling apart too or something, or did I make that up? Or was it fragile or something?
I don't think so, but maybe I not remember. I don't remember that. I don't remember that part.
Well, I just have the sense that well, I don't know. You see, now there's this talk about Ellen's place, where she has all her technology. That the place Calvo wants to get to, so he can rebuild the resurrection stuff.
Right.
So we might see that place.
Yes.
Which could look like an opera house, but
I
don't know.
see.
I had the idea of these events sort of playing out there. I mean, you have Laura's in there. She's the dying leader and all that crap. That was from the Pythia stuff, right? Or what was she doing in the opera house? I forget now. She was just running around, huh?
Yeah, just running around.
She did that on Galactica when she got all crazy when she was just shirking her president. She did run around Galactica.
I guess so.
So I don't know. That's a tangential.
Yeah.
I'm trying to piece this together. I mean, I can see something where, Galactica breaks apart. It's going to be destroyed. People are trying to get off and crap, and then all the commotion, and then you see the shot of the Six with the Eight's baby, and getting to safety, as the doors close or something, and Baltar's there because he always escapes in the nick of time, as they said last episode.
Right. I wanted to mention, I thought it was a nice touch that he was actually in the background when they were...
Yes, that was huge. I thought of the same thing when I watched it again. When they cut to him a couple of times, I'm like, that means a lot, especially with the scene right before it.
Yeah.
That means a lot that Baltar's there. And that's... I hate him because I really wanted to just be through with him, and now he's all good again and awesome.
I know.
As soon as he stops being the religious guy, he's just interesting again. And it's like, man, I thought I was through with you.
Me too, yeah. It was like he just shook that off. And
cut his hair, and now he
woke up. Yeah. It was such a cool shot. I didn't even notice that he was there the first time I watched it.
Oh, wow.
And then this time I saw, you see the guys that are about to shoot Zarek and Gaeta, and you see him standing back. I was like, wow, I can't believe he was there. I just thought that was crazy.
He went. It's weird. They had this weird connection, and that never really was really played out too well. Even on the New Caprica stuff, we didn't really see a lot of what was apparently going on.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember.
Apparently, yeah.
It makes me want to read any novelizations about filling in this stuff, because it's all really interesting.
Yeah.
It's all very interesting.
Yeah. And I love that look with Zarek and Gaeta at the end.
I was just gonna say the whole scene is so perfectly done, and the look when Zarek it seems like he's gonna say something and he doesn't, which is just perfect.
Yeah.
And
his look just sort of does it. I mean, he can't do any better than that look.
Yeah, he can't.
It really just says it all.
Yeah.
And it just God.
Yeah, the whole thing,
That was great.
The leg's not itching anymore, and
oh yeah, yeah.
It was well done. These guys are these writers are knocking it out of the park, man.
Yeah.
They're not messing around.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Which is good. It's good. It's nice when the show's coming to an end and it's not like falling apart around them.
Yeah.
It's actually getting really good. So anyway, to return to this, I just had to mention that. To return to this episode, another thing I was going to say is this kind of, I mean, we find out that Ellen subplot was going on in the background of, basically from the time she was killed until recently, I guess.
Yeah.
And so all that to do about the Cylons rebelling, the various models breaking off, and I mean that's what sort of led to the base ship that's with them now. During that whole time, this Cavil knew about this Ellen and the Final Five plans and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, that just makes that stuff look different to me. I really had no idea.
Because he was. Yeah, and is that here's I guess the question. Is that the only Cavil that knew about it? Is he special? Like that's the one. Like the other Cavils are just Cavils.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It does seem that way.
I mean, they do present themselves as having an individual personality based on their experiences.
That's true, and they did also reveal that I guess Boomer actually knew about this as well during that whole time, and she sort of broke with the rest of her models.
Mhm.
Who went with the rebels, I guess.
Yeah. But
she knew different things than they did.
Yeah.
And it makes it seem like that had some part of it. Although she does something at the end, which will, I don't know, come to something eventually, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird how. I mean, it's not weird. They're all clones, but they have that personality. And like, yeah, at the end when she's like, you're gonna regret this. She's like, yeah, I probably will, but it's not what you think she's talking about. The little reversal there was well done, and it's like that's what you expect Athena to do. That's what you expect, these Boomer to do, like, and that's what they talked about before, when Cavil was saying, ask her why she made you, with conflicting, wants and desires, and this personality trait and this personality trait.
Impulsive, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole concept of, this AI that is trapped in a form, sort of arbitrarily in its opinion,
right,
is really interesting, and how, the idea of wanting to be able to experience things that just the human body can't experience. He managed to sum all that up really well. I mean,
oh yeah,
it was that whole little tirade.
That was a great speech. That to me is like the essence of sci-fi.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
It was ringing the bell of sci-fi. It was no joke.
That's what sci-fi is supposed to be about, and it was that was great. That actor is really good. I really like that guy.
He's always he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in Blue Velvet. If anybody ever checked that out.
He was what's his name in Quantum Leap?
Oh really?
Yeah, that's Dean Stockwell, right?
Is it? Oh yeah. Well, it isn't a show. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap, Dean Stockwell. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
He was
that.
the guy who, would always pop in and try to help, what's his name, get out of the situation.
Oh. I never watched it, so I don't know.
Yeah, he was always a Quantum Leap guy to me, and he would pop up in places.
I see.
Craziness. But it's there's a lot going on.
But yeah, the idea, very, very well expressed. How confining, being human is in a way. It's pretty good, but yet, there's a lot out there that's completely restricted.
But what's weird is, and what's weird is how, Ellen doesn't seem to feel that way.
Right.
She seems to feel like the best thing you can do is try to become the perfect human, which is becoming the perfect machine.
Yeah.
That's kind of her argument, right?
Yeah.
And it's strange.
Yeah, it is strange.
It's saying don't look at this as a limit, look at it as the, attainment of perfection, and it's like the same thing.
Mhm.
And when he was saying, that he can't even express himself the way he wants to, because he has to sort of use this language, this verbal, communication, like.
Yeah, that's great.
That's pretty. You don't get to see that perspective from AI a lot on screen anywhere.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really, made me think about that. I mean, languages has a lot of possibilities, and it's great, but it is also limiting. I mean, there's only so much you can do. It gives you a framework, and you're just kind of stuck with what you have to work with, and you end up having to phrase things in kind of crude metaphor and stuff like that, and there's really not much.
Yeah.
You really can't do much better than that. You know?
Shoot for the moon. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Those words mean nothing, but you have to learn the interpretation because we can't accurately say what or.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like I'll never that episode I'll never forget it. This Next Generation episode with those people who spoke in the metaphors.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Two rocks on the lake, or?
Oh yeah. Something his arms wide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I almost remember. They say it so many times.
So many times. Yeah.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, that's kind of a metaphor for what we're talking about now is where you're just the concept is you just can't really accurately describe it. Yeah.
I mean, he wants to talk about sort of. I mean, the point of the speech is trying to experience kind of every facet of a supernova, and you can and you just end up saying like smell and hear and
yeah. He said smell. He wants to be able to smell dark matter.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing, like
it's a cool thing to say, and you feel it doesn't quite capture what you really want to say about it.
And that's the thing, like it sort of bridges the idea of what does that really mean to smell dark matter. It obviously does not, it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Because it would, I don't even know what.
Yeah, I mean there just isn't language to describe how you would want to. I don't even know. Obviously I don't have a word. How you would experience dark matter, I guess.
Mm-hmm. In the kind of smell, though.
What would be the proper way to describe? It's smell, whatever sense you can make of that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I agree. That's definitely. That's one of the things that. Well, I won't say that. So, yeah, so at the end, Boomer flies off with Ellen, presumably to be seen again. I can't imagine that's the end of them.
No, they're gonna show up on Galactica.
Yeah, I guess so. And so where do you think it goes from there?
Well, because Boomer, like you said, Boomer separated from her model, so she's gonna, she'll go join them. She'll bring Ellen with them. They'll be reunited with Saul, and he'll get his whole thing. And
yeah,
I mean, they've got to all meet again. All the final five have to meet again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you do with the scene where like Adama finds out this is all Cavill's fault? Like, how does Adama react to that knowledge? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything that I mean, not his fault, overall, but in the short term, his fault. Like that's pretty huge. I don't know if they'll get to anything like that, but that's pretty huge. I mean, you still have Kara to deal with. I mean,
I know.
What's her deal? I mean,
I know that's still up in the air completely.
I think the deal with her. I mean, it could. What if like?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. This explains. Like, I always wondered, once they destroyed the resurrection ship, I always thought, like, well, just build a new one. Like, what's the big deal? So this actually gives an answer to that. That apparently they don't know how. The final five know how, and somehow they have to be together to do it. And Cavill's trying to like extract the information from her brain. Yeah,
and you don't like. I feel like you don't know how serious he is. That he, like, is he again speaking in metaphor, or is he being serious that, like, he can literally extract that information from her brain?
I thought he was serious. I thought it was literally serious.
I mean, but it's the situation is sort of cliche. Like, okay, this is a threat basically. And fine, if you won't give it to me, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just not sure. I mean, I feel like he is serious. I'm just not sure how. What's the word? I don't know what the word is, but like, is he really going to get what he wants, or is he just hoping he's going to get what he wants, or is he just playing around?
I see.
Or does he know, like,
does he think he stands any kind of chance?
To what degree is he doing this because this is just like he will get what he wants?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like that could go either way.
Yeah.
I kind of believed him, but I could definitely see him. I mean, the character that he apparently is, I could definitely see him just doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Just saying, well, we got the technology. Let me poke around in there and see what I can find.
Yeah.
Versus saying, I've done this before. I know what to do. This is 100% guaranteed going to give me results.
Right.
That's that is all encapsulated in this sort of cliche, sort of circumstance we've seen before. Of this sort of ticking or countdown to your to this big threat that she's safe from anyway.
Right. Yeah. That's sort of the catalyst for her leaving.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say about Starbuck?
And I was just going to say, if here's a little nugget to keep in your hat.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not a very big nugget. Wear your hat down.
I normally store all my nuggets in my hat.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
If Cavill is, I want to say this in quotes for some reason, whatever that means.
Okay.
If they write Cavill the way I think they have presented Cavill, true to who I get the sense that he the character that he is, I feel like he would have that we will find out that he knew, or at least suspected, that Boomer would save her.
Yeah.
I feel like he's calculating enough to know the kind of person Boomer is and the situation he put her in that they talked about, why she was there, all these reasons why.
Mhm.
And I think there is some sort of reverence that they have for Ellen, and built in or not, I don't know. I mean, he seemed like he was ready to kill her, but what does that even really mean? She didn't seem threatened by that at all.
Right.
I mean, because I don't even know, will she just be resurrected again? Like, they didn't say.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if this is before. Did we get to the point in that timeline where the technology? Oh yeah, we did. Okay, that's why they were doing the whole thing. So she wouldn't be resurrected, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. No, that's the whole problem.
I mean, maybe because she didn't seem threatened by it.
No, she didn't seem threatened by it.
Because, and that's the thing, when he told her that they destroyed this stuff, she said something, I'm paraphrasing, but oh, now you're feeling the threat of your own mortality, and he said, then he said, extinction or something, and it's like she wasn't including herself in that.
Yeah.
She seemed separate from that, and so that's weird. I don't know what that means, because I feel like there really isn't a huge difference between Ellen and the other Cylons. The 8 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many is it? 7?
7.
They're both artificial. They're both created in the likeness of humans. One's just a better model than the other, I guess. One can sort of procreate and the others can, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. So that's what's weird to me is, but anyway. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like Cavill, I hope Cavill was smart enough to see this coming and somehow it works into his plans. If for the very reason, like, he's got some programming that doesn't really want him to kill her, and that's why she's not, nervous about it or something.
Right.
Some sort of fail-safe. Because why, if he, I mean, he doesn't necessarily want to kill her just for that motive, but, because he, I guess he could have done it before if he could. But instead he planted memories in their heads and put them amongst humans.
Right.
And so we're to believe that the other 5 don't have copies of themselves out there, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. Why not? Oh, they didn't need copies?
Well, I think I don't think they were ever copied.
Oh, they're okay. Yeah. Okay, I see. Because they would just be making clones of themselves. Versus...
Yeah. It was just the new models, I think, that were mass produced.
Okay. Oh, it's all kinds of crazy. The thing I was gonna say about Starbuck was, what was that? Starbuck. Something to do with. I was gonna say maybe, maybe we'll find out it's like something like Starbuck found Earth, and she really did die, and somehow like Cavill or Ellen found her dead there, and then used the resurrection technology to bring her back and stuff, to send her back because like. If it was Cavill or something, then that was, he needed her for part of this plan or something. I don't know.
But can they resurrect a non-Cylon?
Well, I feel like they might have the technology to sort of bring her back or, clone her or something.
Okay.
I mean, they do have cloning technology, obviously. I don't know how it would work for a human, but they can do something pretty damn close.
I see. Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out a way where she's not a Cylon, but
But the Cylons still have something to do with it.
Yeah, because obviously, it seems like it's the fact that she did die, right?
Yeah, but it's very confusing. I mean, she died in this other planet, you know, not on Earth. But
that was the thing. She got like her plane was going down or something, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow she wound up on Earth dead.
Yeah, it was this other planet, and there was all this stuff going on. I was like a storm or something, a really crazy storm thing. I don't know what I feel like there's a word. Anyway, yeah, and her ship just explodes, but then, you know, we see it on Earth. And, you know, when the new version of her comes back, you know, she said she'd been to Earth and she could take them there, and she sort of did eventually after a long series of things. You know, there's a map in her new ship, which is another, you know, strange thing. I guess the Cylons could have built the ship too, with the map to Earth included, I guess.
Okay, here's my new theory.
Okay.
I'm thinking Kara is the 7, is the Daniel.
Really?
Because remember, well, I don't know, but I'm trying to figure out if there's a way where she could be, because Ellen mentioned to Cavill, you know, some crazy big thing he did to him, and insinuating that he killed him, right?
Yeah. So
that's more than that.
That's another part of the story. There is this other model that we never found out about, that Cavill killed, I think, and not only killed, but apparently obliterated the information to create him again.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's the thing. Like, Starbuck presents herself the same way the final 5 presented themselves, was, you know, these memories implanted and, you know, and sort of just freshly cloned or whatever, you know. Because he killed all of them, right? Wait, like the original 5, like did he kill them and have them, resurrected, and then the resurrected bodies had the implanted memories? And those are the ones
I don't know. Maybe. I was worried you were going to ask that.
I didn't really glean that part of the story.
I know he put him down there with the memories, but whether it was the original version or he killed him and then made a new one like that, or he just tinkered with the original, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that's what he said. What they said was that somehow, like, you know, they were in the process of being resurrected, but he stopped that and then sort of did this memory thing, because that was like when they were vulnerable, was when they were going to be resurrected. That was the sense I got.
Right.
I have to watch it again.
I see. Yeah. That would make sense. I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick up that wasn't true. I mean, I just didn't get any reading on that at all.
You know, I love the beginning of the episode when Ellen wakes up and she just sort of lets out that scream and just just acclimates to her surroundings, and I think she pulled that off very well, like, considering what just happened, you know, which, you know, like the fact that she's resurrecting is one thing. Second thing is she's living the next conscious moment after realizing, you know, the first conscious moment realizing her husband killed her.
Right.
Which most people, or I should say, no one ever gets to.
Most people. That's right.
If you live through it, you know, you didn't really die, so. But
yeah,
no one gets to live through that. So you got all that going on, and then as you learn in the episode, you have the extra crap on top of that of her realizing that he implanted these memories in her and this whole fake life she just lived.
Yeah.
And all that. You have to put a lot into that one scene.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in.
That's
in about fun. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was a lot. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The whole memories unlocking thing and it just everything all at once. That must have been intense.
Yeah.
I like how she treated the Cylon. The writing, the dialogue was really good, but the way she spoke to him and she said, "Can you help me up?" and he kind of hesitated, and she says, "It's okay, you can do that much."
Mm-hmm.
And it's this sort of strange, like giving him permission / support.
Right.
It was a weird sort of thing to say, because it's almost like a servant or something afraid to help the queen almost,
Right.
But the queen has, give permission to, touch her or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he helps her. Tell me if you saw this happen, because he put his hand out to her, and it was, all prickly with the fucking sharp.
Yeah.
Like who wants to grab that?
Not a reassuring hand.
And then he made it transform right into a softer hand, didn't he?
Really?
Because that's what I think happened. Because the hand, like they cut to another shot, and the hand it looks different. It looks like more like a regular hand, and she says, and that's when she says, "You're so kind." And then she takes his hand and gets up.
Oh, I missed that.
So I thought it was supposed to be this little scene about, he sort of does this gesture for her because he realizes, that it would cause her pain or something when his hand in that former sense. But if that's true, on top of that, we learn that he can do that with his hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is yeah. Watch that again and see if you catch that.
Okay. Yeah.
They had that really obvious close up of his hand, and it was like, man, that's a scary hand.
It
I
is.
don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
It's just like, what part do you grab? Or
I know, because the ends of the fingers are really thin and sharp.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you have to put weight on that to stand up? No way.
Yeah. There's just no, and you feel like if you just put your hand in there, it's just gonna, I don't know.
It's off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the hand changed, and it was. I don't think they showed it very well, but that's what I think happened.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to. I definitely have to watch this again because 2 times wasn't enough.
Apparently. No, I definitely see it again. I'll probably watch it again, and then the third time with. I think Battlestar, like these episodes are like 3-timers.
Yeah.
2 times regular, and then once with commentary. Like, geez.
Yeah.
Come on, but that's good.
Definitely.
So should we wrap up this podcast?
I guess so. Is that it? Did we miss anything big?
I'm sure we did.
We probably did. We always do.
Well,
That's good, though.
I guess we'll catch it in the next one, huh?
Yeah.
Apparently we're doing a BSG podcast.
Apparently. It's that part-time job that starts to creep in.
We should go ahead and just put up a website and add it to the forum now.
Yeah. The Galactica Lowdown.
Yeah. Galactic Lowdown. I like, how about the fracking lowdown? The frack down.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Seems so weird to start up a new franchise, when there's like 5 episodes left or something.
Yeah, it is weird.
Like a little too late. But presumably we'll want to do this. I mean,
are there other? I guess people do podcasts about BSG, huh?
They do, yeah.
I wonder who the the Jay and Jack and et cetera are of that world.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I did listen to one time, but yeah, I'm just so not plugged into that world, so I don't know what people say.
World.
Yeah. It's just a separate thing. But yeah, there are things like that out there. I don't know if there's anything like the Lost Lowdown though.
Yeah, it's like a parallel universe.
Yeah, it is.
Like, there's a Claude and Justin talking about BSG. They're not us. We're us.
But it's not us. It's crazy.
Well, so is BSG.
Yeah, I guess so.
Awesome. Well, that does it for the BSG podcast. I mean, I don't know where it's going. I'm sort of not trying to be too trying to predict too much of the plot, because I think I mean, besides from the mysteries, but in terms of where it's going to go plot wise, I'm just in for the ride,
Yeah, me too. But I really don't quite know what they're going to do.
Yeah. I don't know either, and I'm not trying to guess, because I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, there's so few left. I have a feeling it's not just going to get less interesting. I have a feeling there's more going on. But this episode really has so much in it. I'm surprised they have more.
I think you could have probably a whole season of Anders just talking. Because he was just dishing it out, man. You hardly ever see that in anything with so many such long-lived mysteries.
Yeah.
That's like, Juliet or something, just spouting off all this stuff she learned from the others.
Just all of a sudden. Yeah. God, that'd be crazy.
Everyone wanted to know because she got hit in the head, Everything. Stuff like Brent, like she realized Ben brainwashed her, and all this stuff she knew and she forgot, and she was really born on the island and all this stuff, and Ben and her had a life, and that's why he killed her husband with the bus, and just crazy stuff, just her just saying it.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Never.
They don't do that over there. Well, I'm just really convinced we're never going to see a scene like that. Even at the end, like I just can't see them having somebody sit down and just lay it out like that.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is really crazy. I just can't envision that.
I can't either. It could happen.
Now I will tell you the story of the others from beginning to end.
Exactly. I won't leave any detail out, and I will even answer questions.
A tragedy in 5 acts.
It begins now.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy, man.
I know. The whole show is about how no one asks questions and no one answers them.
And see, here's the thing. You reminded me of something I wanted to mention about Cavill when you were saying how, he knew about all this, back in the day when we were watching him and didn't think he knew any of this stuff, because they were always told not to ask questions about the Final Five.
That's right.
And so he's one of the ones going around saying don't ask questions, but he's probably the one who started that.
Yeah.
Because he probably didn't want people, like I get the sense I guess one of the things we need to explain is how much of a connection did, I guess they did touch on that, how Ellen, like how much of a connection does Ellen have with those, because, well, it seems like the Cylons didn't know who the Final Five, who their creators were then. Like, why don't they know? I mean, obviously Cavill knows.
Right. Yeah, no, I think he put it in there that they didn't know.
But I mean, at what point? So he was the first one.
Yeah, he was the first one.
But so does that mean you've got one of him, or does that mean you've got all these Cavills?
There's definitely more than one.
Well, I mean, now there's more than one. But I'm saying, like, at what point?
Like originally?
At what point is he in the position to select what knowledge most Cylons have?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you would, if they're all sort of created around the same time, you would think they would all know who the final 5 were, but they don't. And it's
I guess
he's the gatekeeper.
I guess I kind of thought they did know at one point, and then he took over somehow, and made them all not know. The same way he sort of made the final 5 not know who they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get that. I'm just wondering, like, there's a lot of things that could be going on here, like maybe Ellen, because she keeps referring to Cavill as her boy, and part of me feels like, he was a boy at some point.
I guess I just thought it was metaphorical, since she designed and created him. Oh, you're not on the line, are you? It's just me. All right. Well, you're in for a treat, bitches. It's time for Google News. Let's see what's happening today. We're done with Blagojevich, right? I mean, nobody wants to hear about that anymore. Well, I don't, at least. Let's see. Recovery bill gets final approval. Congress on Friday approved a $787 billion stimulus measure. Oh, hey.
Talking about the stimulus plan?
Oh yeah. I just decided to do my news segment for anyone who dares to listen to this.
I dare you.
I didn't get very far, but that's all right. I don't think anyone really wants me to. It's more about the journey.
It's the journey, not the,
Yeah. So I was saying something when you cut off. What was your question?
I don't know, because I was talking.
Oh, really?
Stuff. So what did you last hear me say?
That's weird. I thought you asked me a question and I was responding, but now I don't remember what I was saying.
Well, I was talking about Cavill and because you were saying that you thought he took over at some point and sort of made all the Cylons forget who the final 5 were. And I was saying I didn't really understand it that way or fill in the gaps that way. I thought it was more of that's what I was saying. The fact that Ellen kept referring to him as her boy.
Oh, that's right. That's what I said. I said I thought she was just being metaphorical.
Okay, yeah. And so I was saying
that he comes out looking like that.
Yeah. And I was just saying I thought maybe, when she created him that he was actually a boy at some point and sort of, part of his sort of upbringing, raising or, training as a machine or whatever was to live through life as a child, and then he grew up and then... So I didn't know if they were trying to hint at that or not.
I didn't think so. I mean, I thought the whole thing about him being modeled after her father meant that she made him look like he does, Yeah. Not just like, he grew into that or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the impression. I mean, who knows? It very well could be true.
No, yeah, I'm just wondering. But that's the thing. I feel like, well, I get the sense there's at some point Cavill is able to hide the fact who created the 7. He was able to hide that from them, and so I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
It's weird.
And I guess he had a part in that as well. I think that was in there. Since he was the first one, he was sort of around for the rest of them. Another thing I was going to bring up was the whole Deanna debacle. She sort of got boxed for trying to find out about the Final Five too much. And that sort of makes sense now, I think. Oh, he's not there again. Fucking shit. All right, guys, buckle the fuck up. Here we go. Oh, maybe I can read some of these fuck my life stories. Let's see. No, I don't. Well, I don't know if I can read this stuff. It's too embarrassing. Oh, hello?
All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but we should probably end the podcast anyway.
Yeah, it's getting out of control.
Yeah, it is. There's more to talk about. Hopefully, I mean, I think at this pace, we'll probably get answers to most of the questions.
Yeah.
The show definitely does not, feel like they're scared of answering questions. So
Definitely not.
So I'm sure we'll be able to fill in some
Definitely
more.
not. And they're not shit answers.
No.
It's not just like, ugh. Like I actually enjoy what they've come up with.
There's something I don't like about the fact that all of this is because of a small set of actions by a small set of people.
Mhm.
But then there's something I do like about that.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, so it's really weird.
Goes both ways. But I still, I mean,
but it's definitely interesting either way. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought the show would get to this point.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. In general, when it comes time to explain things, that's when it's time for me to get let down. And this doesn't feel like a letdown to me. It actually kind of opens up things a little.
You know
more.
why? I think it works because the answer is not just, okay, here's the answer, that's it. It's, here's the answer. Now here's a whole bunch more questions.
Yeah.
Because now we're in this new world of finding out more about the Cylons and what makes them Cylons and how they really. I mean, it was like, like I said, it reminded me of that scene in The Matrix when, you've seen Agent Smith all this time and you get a sense of who he is and he's this unfeeling robot. And then you have that scene where it's like behind the curtain, and you get to glimpse into what he's really thinking and what he's really about and how he's aware of much, much more, and so he, makes him a completely different character. And so you see that with these Cylons. It's like, you guys got this going on?
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, didn't know that,
Yeah.
Why, and it goes back to those questions of, why isn't the AI just fine? Why isn't it just happy with its existence? Shouldn't it be able to rationalize that, like, this is my body, I was created this way, my creator did this to me, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, equation equals, 0 or whatever. Like, why is it a big deal? But somehow it is. Somehow they're unable to escape these sort of human, emotions.
Yeah.
And thinkings, and
They're aware that they're kind of trapped by them, but at the same time, they're still trapped by them.
I mean, I guess it should make sense. It's like, a computer running on a specific operating system and specific hardware. It's like, well, just because it can do a diagnostic and know what makes it work and, it's Pentium this and or whatever, doesn't mean it can be any more than that, or do any more than.
Yeah. Can't necessarily transcend what operating system it's running.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that's a lesson we can all learn in life.
There you go. That's the take home for today.
It's a take home message.
We can all think about that.
Hey, here's the thing. We can't transcend our OS, but we can always do upgrades.
There we go. And on that inspiring note,
please visit our site, helpforyou.com.
Our
book, $34.99. Wait, that's cheap.
It's really
$49.
cheap. Yeah, there you go. We're not going to make any money charging that.
Oh, man. All right. On that note, we shall end this baby.
All right. Goodbye, baby. I mean the podcast.
Baby. Should I press the button again?
I guess so. See you later. LLD soon.